Good morning. It is Wednesday, February the 2nd, 2022, and I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul. Good morning, Animo. And today I'm bringing through the energy of a being by the name of Anton Mesmer. And Anton Mesmer was the person that was first considered the discoverer of hypnosis, the actual methodical process of hypnotizing people, was apparently discovered by him in Europe some couple hundred years ago. Now, apparently his full name is Franz Anton Mesmer, but the name he only gave him was Anton Mesmer. And he said that the advantages in hypnosis were to release one's psychic self from containment to the body. And we're going to get into that in a little bit more shortly. So how are you guys all doing today? Good morning, Animo. Brand new, beautiful day on planet Earth. We are being bombarded with a new energy this week from the sun. And I hope that you guys are meditating, staying calm and focused, and allowing the energies of these higher vibrational frequencies to be integrated gently into your body, like really allowing the body to be open and receptive to receiving and integrating these energies. A lot of people fear what they do not understand, and as a result, they don't get a chance to participate in something that's quite remarkable on planet Earth for humanity. So give me some of your thoughts about what you think the Ascension movement is for you today. Remember, here is a place where you can get your questions answered and perhaps your problems solved as well. Hello from South Africa. Hello, Bo. How are you? Hi, Anthony B. Yeah, this is releasing your psychic self. And it's a very interesting concept that he's presented to me because I've never considered it quite this way before. I've always viewed that the psychic self was our awareness, the soul, that is able to observe thoughts and emotions. And he said, no, that is just one small component of what you're dealing with. The psychic self is the all-knowing part of your being that you have a direct connection to that can be discovered really simply. Hi, Julia. Hello, Vertical. These energies come in, be ready for them. Just meditation and integration is really important. But yeah, this psychic self, he calls it the all-knowing consciousness that is not separate or differentiated from anything. It is connected to and unified with all aspects of nature, time, and space. He said the mechanism of hypnosis was strictly realized as a tool for gaining access to this incredible, limitless power, or consciousness, you might say, and that by having access to this, many of the problems of the individual and virtually all of the problems of civilization can be resolved by a communion with this psychic self, this all-knowing part of your nature that many of you are denied awareness of by the very nature of your individuality. Learning to reestablish your connection to this all-knowing intelligence, your psychic self that knows all things, all mysteries before, after, and beyond. This self you have direct access to through your mechanism of perception and awareness, independent of what is already known by you individually. It is only through this perspective of your individual awareness in relation to a perception from this all-knowing intelligence that you can begin to liberate yourself from what you think you know and to open up the greater mysteries of the psychic self that is not bound by the existing limits of your personality. He's just saying to me, saying that it feels good to be able to articulate into this realm again. It feels good to be able to articulate into this realm again. The process that you call hypnosis is the mechanism by which you can entrance your mind so that it is not interfering with the perceptual capabilities of your awareness to hear, to see, and to know what your psychic self can offer you in the way of information and solution and creation, which is, from its perspective, limitless in scope and possibility. That this intelligence that I am calling the psychic self is limitless in its capacity to provide you with knowledge, information, solutions, and challenges. There is not one area of science or life that this psychic self does not have full understanding and comprehension of, and which is also able to provide that information to you so long as you have an openness to being able to perceive and hear it. Yeah. Cool. So you're saying the psychic self is the all-knowing field. He says you may call it that, you may call it an all-knowing field, but in truth, it is infinite in its capabilities. There was much fear and just even terror about the exploration of this intelligence. Those that are in power would have no power, and those that have no power would be empowered if the simple secret of this information was revealed to everyone to understand and not kept but in the hands of a few, which is it has remained. The process of licensing this mechanism you call hypnosis is nothing more nor less than setting parameters that would limit and restrict your capacity to explore, comprehend, and experience this limitless psychic consciousness. It functions above, below, within, and around. It embraces all spaces, places, and times. There is not one thing that it knows not. There is not a question that it cannot answer, nor a problem it cannot solve. It is simply your ability to be cultivated in aligning to this psychic self. And the mechanism you call hypnosis, wherein you place your mind and your body in abeyance, in a state of clarity, where there is nothing in the system but a direct communication between yourself and this limitless consciousness, of which you are a manifestation as well. When you understand fully the limitless nature of this, then the idea that you are both part of it and separate from it is not a difficult concept to grasp. For how could you limit the potentiality of a limitless ability? You could not. That which has limitless ability has limitless ability. It may be known to you that you are such as this too, if you are willing to be able to suspend your individuality and to open yourself up to limitless possibility. Many of you have been, let me say, you have been dehypnotized from being in a relationship with this limitless power and hypnotized into a limitless perception of self that could not possibly in most ways allow you to perceive it. The identity that you've been given acts as a filtration system for perception, not a doorway to it. And so what you call the mechanism of hypnosis is quite simply the door that you can unlock to open up to this limitless potentiality, this psychic self that can solve every one of your problems and resolve any concern if you understood that limitless potential is at your disposal, what would you indeed have to fear at all? And what could you not do if you understood exactly of what I speak when I say the psychic self, the infinite knowledge, the loving intelligence that is embracing of and inclusive all things. It includes all things in itself, all places, all spaces, all times. It does not need to differentiate itself from anything. That was something that occurred with you. In your separateness from this, you literally have the benefit of having a small existence in a limited form, but you have a limited intelligence that gives you the capacity to have the illusion of separation from yourself. And what would you do if you could, in fact, find a simple way of aligning yourself to this psychic potentiality of your being? What would you consider as a new possibility for the expression of your life? For in the application of the mechanism, the technique of hypnosis, in the application and presentation of the technique of hypnosis, there is a liberation from your individuality and a perception of a greater reality that gets opened by the very nature of surrendering your attachment to individuality. By that very act, you align yourself to a limitless potentiality that gave rise to your individuality in the first place. And from that perspective, you are free then to offer information, question, and suggestion from a very small place of awareness. But that place is simply a receptive space where you as an individual can embody and ennoble this limitless perspective, this limitless energy, this limitless consciousness, this limitlessness of all things through you. It is why so many of you find yourself struggling, knowing that problems are not natural, that being in fear, being in a lower vibrational state is not a natural place, but these states only exist because they are places of greater division and separation from this psychic self. The closer you come to this psychic self, this consciousness that is limitless, that gives you life, the closer you come to it, the greater your freedom becomes, the less burdensome your life is, for you are no longer simply restricted to what you know, and what you do not know becomes available to you in this place. And this place of understanding the distinction of what is limitless consciousness and your relationship to it is the most important realization that any of you could ever have. The realization that there is indeed a limitless consciousness within the confines of even your body, but not limited to it. Within even the confines and the molecular constitution of your very thoughts is a limitless power that has such limitless capabilities that it can even limit itself to little thoughts, little ideas, fearful conceptions. But it encompasses all of those things, and thereby its limitlessness is always present and established. Simply the shift of your awareness, shifting your awareness from what you know into this place of not knowing, into this place of the limitless, you may receive the answer to any question, the solution to any problem. He's saying there are issues of responsibility that have been posed throughout history. Many of those that have gotten in touch with this limitless consciousness have sought to aggrandize themselves, adorn themselves with great wealth and great power over others. And while this does not violate the consciousness of this infinite potentiality, it does in fact hinder the overall evolution of the collective consciousness of the species, which is not meant to be bound to a localized point of time and space for as long as it has. In my work with this psychic self, I had discovered that any expression could be articulated through any individual if the individual could be put aside long enough to allow another expression of that limitless potentiality come through them. You can notice in even your conventional hypnosis today, you can see people can be relieved of their individuality and inclined to express a whole other personality that does not exist in that body previously. All personality, all potential, all possibilities are available within you. And the mechanism that you call hypnosis is an instrument by which you can cultivate the relationship between this vast intelligence within your consciousness, the vast intelligence that is permeating every point of time and space around you and within you. To say that individuality is a limitation on it would not be true when it encompasses all places, spaces, and times. Much the same way as you encompass 2 hands and 2 feet, this encompasses all life forms within itself. Your body has 2 hands, 2 feet, and you encompass it with your awareness, you utilize it. But this intelligence does not have the limits of your perception as an individual. So consider this, that when you ask a question, the answer is there. Your capacity to hear the answer outside of what you know, because many of you seek to have questions answered, but always within the confines of what you know. And in that context, you cannot know what you do not know, nor receive the answers of what you do not know, unless you are open and willing to receive the unknown. For the solutions to your problems, if they were known to you, you would have no problems. You would have only solutions. So you must be open then to allowing that which you do not know to come in response to your queries of this psychic self, which is what all of you speak to, is it not? When you have a question or a concern, is that not what you are speaking to? That limitless psychic self that is connected to all spaces, places, and times? This is what you're communicating to, but this is not what you listen to. So you ask a question, but then you listen from within the confines of your individually constructed self, and you cannot hear what is outside of what you know. So you must learn to surrender what you know to hear what you do not, and the process of hypnotizing your mind into silence, the body into stillness, but your awareness staying conscious and present, that when the asking of a question occurs from that place, that you can hear the answer from a place other than what you know, thereby providing yourself with a direct solution to your problems, direct answers to your questions. Wow, thank you. Our psychic self is a pretty fascinating thing. Question from Julia. I am starting to have the odd psychic flashes now and again. Will this just continue naturally increase in the frequency, or should I do anything to this? I think, yes, they will continue to increase as long as you continue to give them attention. For the key element in this process of connecting to the psychic self, the key element is concentration, the ability to focus your attention away from what is known to you and to become open to what is not known to you. These psychic experiences are happening because they are outside the framework of what you know and contained within the experience of what you do not know, and you are simply shifting your awareness away from what is familiar to you and now beginning to glimpse that which is not so familiar to you. And that is very simple in terms of how you can continue to enhance it. Simply pay closer attention to where you are getting these experiences from, the vibrational energy that comes to you from these psychic experiences will loan themselves to a greater opening of that place, because now your attention shifts away from what you know even further into what you do not know even more. So that which is unknown becomes known to you. We're very excited for you that you have this opportunity to do this. Wow, thank you so much. Wow. If you're if you're new to the channel today, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up, please, and hit the notification bell so you get notified. If you see a question, leave a question. Question from Beta. How can I let go of fear? However I try, the hurt of the past is still haunting me, and this creates the fear now. I ask angels for help, but I still struggle. The simplest way, as awareness, recognizing the suffering contained within you from this point of time and space that you call your childhood, as the awareness recognizing the suffering of your childhood, would you not offer your love to that part of you which suffers? Would you not offer your love to that part of you which suffers? In the offering of your love to that part which suffers, you will find the relief given to it by the very nature of your transmitted love. When you find yourself struggling with these past memories and these past emotions, have the courage to extend your love to those memories. You see, all things occur simultaneously, past, present, and future. They are all occurring simultaneously. And your ability as awareness, you can move your awareness through past, into present, into future. Many of you are stuck in your past, unable to release yourself from it. But we can assure you that if you align yourself to a vibration of love and extend your love to the part of you which suffers in the past, your love will be the corrective energy for that part to release its painful energy. The love vibration you transmit to it transcends, transforms, and transmutes these lower vibrations of fear, anger, suffering, guilt, and shame that your body and your mind still remember, but which you can transform. It is not simply the memory you wish to get rid of. You wish to keep your memory. But what you wish to do is learn how to change or alter the emotional energy that's attached to those memories. Once that emotional energy is changed vibrationally, then you will have the memories, but not the emotion of the suffering of the consciousness that still suffers in that emotion at that time and space. So do this when you go back. Extend your love. When that comes up, extend your love to that part which suffers. Extend your love to that part which is angry. Extend your love to that part that feels lonely. Extend your love to it, and you will feel the change of its energy, and the liberation of your soul from the past shall begin, and your restoration to this eternal present, where you can then begin to embark on the journey of liberation and creation, which you came here to do in the first place. Wow, great question. Thank you so much. That was wonderful, Julia. Or Beta. Thank you, Beta. Yeah. Got it. Question from Adam. Can you ask Archangel Metatron to explain what electrical alignment means in reference to grounding and how grounding modulates this? What exact mechanism permeates synchronicity in this state? He says awareness. Your awareness is the mechanism that establishes the synchronicity between the flow of electrical energy from the medium of matter to the medium of physical matter, the earth matter, to physical matter, to the vibrational elements of the psychic self. The awareness is what bridges or unites or creates what's called a stable pathway between these different levels of energy and the flow of energy between them. Synchronicity is maintained by focus and awareness. When you become aware of the electrical flow or the recharging of the body from what you call the earth, or some of you call her Gaia, the electrical recharging of the body requires that you become aware that the earth is in fact providing your body with an electrical charge at all times, but if you are able to receive it, it will recharge you. The same is true between the body and the mental faculties, the emotional faculties, the informational faculties. You as awareness are the governing instrument that can align and allow these different elements of energy to integrate with each other properly, to have a clear flow as above, so below, so there's no discontinuity between one electrical potential and another. Wow. Thank you. Great question, Adam. Thank you so much. Thank you for that super chat, Bo. Bo is, my daughter's guide identified her chronic cough as spores. Can you tell me the specific location of these spores in my home? It's just, again, there's wood. There's some sort of wood. Again, I'm seeing frame like studs on a wall behind a wall. Behind, is it behind? I'm getting behind and above. There's two places where these things, something coming down in there. What directional side of the house is this on? They're saying that it faces the southeast. This wall faces the southeast. It is connected to an external wall, but it faces the southeast. Yeah, thank you, Bo. Appreciate that. Question from Anthony. Where might I locate a hypnotist that is in tune with what you are saying? Wow, he's saying that there are few, if any, that comprehend the full scope of the relationship that I speak of, this psychic self. Although many of you have seen the phenomena, you yourself can be this. Please understand that you yourself can be this, to teach your mind, to teach your body to be in a state of open receptivity. Ultimately, this is the simplest way that you can teach your mind, you can teach your body. You, as awareness, can be the hypnotist for your own mind and body. You can train it to be still, to be quiet, to be open, to be receptive to you. And in that clear, open receptivity, you have connection to that infinite psychic self. When the mind and body are in stillness, and you can perceive the consciousness that moves through both, you can begin to interact with it. But the first element is getting your mind and body into a place of stillness where it will not interfere from its past or its future considerations with your perceptual apparatus tuning into this limitless potential that is within you and around you simultaneously. Even as the air you breathe and the thoughts you think, it is within and around all of those. But in placing your thoughts and your body into a place of stillness, you open the doorway where you can begin to communicate or offer questions and requests and guidance from this infinite potentiality. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Would you say your healing method with magnets and were appropriate for your error? But yes, those again were mechanisms of fascination, understanding that one of the key elements in placing the individual aside was to fascinate their individual awareness with something. And that fascination could have resulted in them being in a state of fear, and that fear would place them into a state that you would call a catatonic state. And in that catatonic state, they could become amenable to suggestions. The intelligence within them could become amenable to suggestions from myself. The magnetic process was a very subtle form of energy in that it does interact with the electrical flow of the body, but it was simply a distraction to take their attention off what I was saying, and their mind would become lulled by my words and fascinated by my gestures, and they would then surrender their awareness, and I could then begin to ask questions and direct the consciousness there to perform such simple things as healing the body or providing unusual information that individual would not normally possess, but which the intelligence within them did. So instruments of fascination were very useful. In my experience of being since that time as consciousness, it is very different. understanding that there is a direct relationship between oneself and this psychic intelligence that I speak of. When you have that awareness and understanding, then mechanisms are useless. They're not necessary because you have direct connection to it. But you can use such things as these magnets or tools for fascination, such as swinging devices or rhythmic sounds, will also serve the same purpose that a magnet would, as I did. Wow, great. Thank you for that question, Vertical. Question from Huajin. Is there something that my rabbit wants to tell me? He has been ill for the last few weeks. Just stay in the love. Stay in love. Release your fear. Release your fear. Release your fear around this. Let your love dominate. Let your love dominate your communications with this one. Let your love dominate your communication. Place all fear aside and let your love be the only consideration that guides your actions and your words towards this one. The solution, the understanding you're seeking cannot be found through your fear. It will be found through your love. Different qualities of energy can only result in specific outcomes of energy. The vibrational energy that you call fear and the vibrational energy of love produce very different effects in the conditions of time, space, and matter. So let that be it. Yeah. Also, yes, I'm just tuning into the little being right now. They're, just love. Just love. They love you very much. Be in love with them too. Thank you so much. Wow. What a beautiful day. I got time for 2 more questions. So he wants to just add, there's somebody, he says he wants you to please understand that you must understand that you individually and wholly can return to the place of a direct relationship with your psychic self without the distractions of your personality, your fears, your doubts. All of these things are not a direct relationship with this psychic self, although that self does permeate them. But if you learn to surrender your fear, surrender your anger, a direct communication can be established. Surrender your fear, surrender your anger, and a direct communication can be established. So I don't know who that's for, but he wanted me to put that out to you guys. Beta, again, please don't accept this as medical advice because I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm being told, there's things about his life he has not been able to stand, and he must learn to let go of his frustration with the things in the world that he cannot stand, to cultivate an energy of love and tolerance and acceptance for that which he is in resistance to, will begin to ameliorate some of that suffering. But also ensure that he's drinking a lot more water and eating a little bit more living food. He can't. There's things he ask him there. His higher self is saying, tell him to release his I'll use the word aggression towards things he cannot stand. He cannot stand. That's the phrase his higher self is saying. He cannot stand. He has to let go of this conception that he cannot stand certain things. His anger. He's got to let go of his anger. It's very strong. He has to let it go. Well, thank you so much. Yes, that's right, Anthony. Meditation, be still and know that I'm God. Yeah, so if you've really enjoyed this show, please share your thoughts and your comments about what you heard him say today about the psychic self and being able to liberate yourself from that, how to awaken it. And again, the way I understand it is getting your mind and body out of the way so that you as an awareness can perceive this consciousness that's all around us. Now, this Friday, I just wanted to mention on this Friday, February the 4th, 2022, I'm going to have a being by the name of Harry Houdini coming through, and he wants to discuss the concept of freedom is who you are, and that you are the director of matter. Freedom is who you are. You are the director of matter. Freedom is who you are. Also, I want to mention to any of our students that have taken our Mediumship program that a Mediumship 104 course is launching this Saturday. So if you want to register for that course, you can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. This is an advanced level program where you will be learning a process of transcendence, how to move beyond mind and body, to be able to utilize your direct relationship with spirit, if I can use that term, and how to create a different life for yourself. And the program's called Transcendence, and it's a masterclass. So please consider joining up for that. Our Mediumship 101 program begins in March. So hopefully you'll be able to join us for that. Let's see here. There we go. Anyway, I want to thank Anton for being present with us today and sharing this simple and valuable information with us. I want to thank the guides, the angels, and the other beings that came through for others here today. And I want to wish you all much, much love and joy. And I will see you guys on Friday on Shortcuts to Your Soul. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.